PTSD is specifically related to a trauma that an individual experiences. There is some kind of event in their life that happens that causes them to have or to eventually develop PTSD.
I was on a deployment in 2007.
During those deployments, sometimes I was working in the capacity of public affairs, other times combat camera.
9/11 struck. Our command was responsible for the DoD hotline. My job was to make sure we had the most up-to-date information as well as releasing the names of the fatalities. I lost 12 friends that day.
I was monitoring a mission, and there was an insurgent fighter, and he had his 3-year-old daughter with him, and she had gotten shot in the chest. And at that time, my youngest was the same age.
I was in a dismounted patrol. I had an RPG miss my shoulder by about a foot and hit about 7 feet behind me. That RPG caused some shrapnel damage and a traumatic brain injury, which only intensified the PTSD I had already been carrying for a couple years.
I was jumpy. I was an emotional train wreck. I was, in great moods and sad and anxiety, any number of emotions.
I had a couple major breakdowns, and I thought, okay, well, I need help.
I was coming into the building one day, and I had a massive anxiety attack. And it was then that I realized that I have a real problem.
Honestly, when I was going through it, part of the reason I didn't want to say anything was because I was afraid what it was going to do to my career, what it was going to do with my clearance. So once I worked through everything and I was open and honest about it and I dealt with it, everything fell into place.
I've learned that it is not a weakness to ask for help, and you just have to keep plugging at it, and it's just one of those things where therapy matters.
One of the strongest guys I've ever known, not all that long ago, loaded up a .45 and put it in his mouth and pulled the trigger. And we lose too many warriors like that. And that could be me, and that could be you. But as long as we network together and as long as we seek help, the help is there.
It is absolutely possible for an airman to have been through a trauma, develop PTSD, get treatment, and then no longer have that disorder. So they no longer meet the criteria for the disorder. They continue in the Air Force and they live a satisfying life. Take that step today.